So real quick, I'm having to pick a coach here. I guess because I'm going to be doing a lot of simulating, I need to keep in mind their success rating, consistency of success. I may be a little off hands on the scouting too, though, considering, or depending on how tedious it is. Player development. Man, who do we go for here? 88 consistency of success, 80 scouting, 87 players. Oh my goodness, this dude is insane. Anthony Cameron. Pro style offense, balanced defense. Oh yeah, easy choice. So this is where it gets interesting. We're setting up the Dynasty file, and it's gonna be different than what I normally do because we're starting at the top of the top. We're not doing a slow rebuilding to a thing. Like, we're right off the rip, we can play for the world championship, or at least be one of the teams running for it. Doesn't mean it's going to be an easy task, because there's a handful of other teams that are just as good as we are. I mean, you got to think the MFL teams are going to probably dominate early on in the series. We're one of those teams. I decided the LT Jazz are in here, or the Louisiana Jazz are in here, but there's been a lot of Jazz on the channel. Going to my favorite team, the Miami Dolphins, and they're going to do really good, hopefully. But we still got to compete with the other MFL teams, so that might not look so good for us. I don't know. Preseason duration 1 week. We're going to keep it 12 weeks like the college would do. This isn't college though, so get that out of your mind. We're role playing here. This is something totally different, a whole different thing. This is the world of football, baby. But we're gonna do 12 weeks. I do like that. League size is, I'm gonna bump this down. It doesn't let you pick what teams you want. I'm hoping I figured out how to get my specific 60 teams in. If not, we're gonna have to just run 130 and include another league, which would be the maximum football league. But I'm hoping if I do 60, it's only going to include the teams that I made. I don't know. Playoff bracket, we're going to go 16 teams. Quarter duration. Now, I want to go ahead and talk about this because this really sucks. I mean, this maximum football, dude, this is just really bad. But this is going to affect your sim stats. So the issue with that is if you want realistic stats, of course you want to do 15 minutes, maybe bump it down a little bit if the stats are inflated. But if you want to sim and play, I hope you're okay with playing 15-minute quarters, which I'm not. You can turn accelerated clock on, but how accelerated is it? I don't know. You don't get a choice in the matter. So I did a little bit of testing. I want to be able to watch the World Championship game every single season that we sim, but I cannot sit here and watch a 15-minute video or 15-minute quarters. So I'm going to meet in the middle, and we're going to go. I simmed with 5 minutes and the stats were really low and the scoring was really low, but you know, this is a different league, different universe. 5 minutes, the stats, that makes sense. They would be low. But you know what? For the sake of it, maybe I'll go 6 minutes, no accelerated clock. Or maybe we go 7 minutes accelerated clock. No, we'll go 6 minutes, no accelerated clock. That give us a 24-minute game. Obviously, that's going to go to over an hour because all the stoppages and stuff. Conference realignments every season. And the way it works, I've found out this game is not changed from the other maximums. They didn't change it. In other words, you're going to move up and move down a ladder. If your team does really bad and is the worst in that conference or in that league, whatever you want to call it, you're going to get bumped down to the lower. And that's just how it seems to work. So we'll see. But everything's set up. I've decided. So I'm the general manager. I've decided to hire Anthony Cameron here. Seems to be really good. Every season, the conferences will change. So teams are just going to be floating all over the place. It's the World League. That makes sense, I guess. Here we go. Let's hope our teams are in here. I really need them to be here. I worked so hard to hand put them in, but I can already tell they're not, because this is not a team. Dang, that sucks. A lot of the teams are in, but let's take a look here. I wish you could just choose what teams you want in your thing. So the menus are horrible as well, in my opinion, if I can just be honest. So let's see. Yeah, so there's a pretty good bit of teams in here that I didn't want in here that are in here. But for the most part, all the teams, we might just run this, actually. Let's take a look at the rankings. So there's 60 teams. Could sort it by, yeah, let's sort it by conference. All right, so this is how the series is gonna work. So there's classes. Your team does better, they move up the classes and stuff like that. But no matter what class you're in, it shouldn't affect your chance to play for the World Championship, because it is going to be based off of rank, not your conference. So this is just kind of a good estimate of where your team stacks up before the year starts. In other words, we always expect the teams that are in the world class AA to put your money on them, because they have the higher chance to go all the way and win the World Championship. But it does not mean that they will. Maybe there's the lowest, which is the lower C. It would be. Anyways, so everyone made it from the AA that I wanted. And by the way, that's what I mean. We are starting from the top of the top. So it actually puts on a lot of pressure on me, right? I need to keep this team managed well, because we can't go up from here, really. We can only go down. So we need to manage and stay at a high level. For the World Class A, every team made it there. You're expecting to see the MFL teams at the top of the top, right? They have the best chance. No one plays football like we do, American football like Americans do, right? So it makes sense to see them here. Okay, so it looks like all my teams actually did get in. Oh, there's only 4. So no, there's going to be teams missing. Yikes. 4 from Class A. 4. Yeah, so it went down to... Okay, so the Cleveland Keisters got in. That's good. I'm glad to see them. Yeah, so some teams are going to be missing. That's okay. I think we're going to run this either way. Redskins make it. Fresh. Detroit Lions. Bears, Patriots. You see these teams, though, and of course, if you want to see a personal team in the future. Oh, the Louisiana Jazz did make the cut here. Okay. Yeah, so I didn't consider the unaffiliated. I should have put some of the created teams in this as well, but that is okay. So I'm not sure how many NFL teams made it or didn't make it. It looks like most of them made it, maybe all of them made it, I'm not sure. Looks like all the subscriber teams made it, so that's the most important thing. New York Fresh there. So I think we're ready to go. Actually, we're going to stay in the save file then. We're going to be getting this started actually and underway soon. So all teams are competing for a championship, a world championship, right? But the unique thing about this, and this is what's going to differ and make it the world, is, you know, all the leagues from all the teams around the world are coming together in agreement to the world house rules, and that is players are only eligible to play for 4 seasons before they're no longer eligible for the roster. Red shirt college rules do apply. For 1 season, you can redshirt a player to maybe save some time to have him on your roster or whatever the reason is. But a player can only play for 4 eligible seasons before they're no longer allowed to play on the roster to keep the cycle moving. So that's the one rule that all teams have to abide by. And of course, this is the world of football. So any awesome names that played really well here after their 4 years are done, maybe they want to come over to the MFL, which is obviously where you want to be. So we'll see what names and characters we get built from this little series.